I remember a lot of the things when I was a little boy, and I used to call my mother Mum. And when she used to call us in at night time, we used to hide down the entrance so she couldn't see us. And I just you could get good hidings then, but now discipline is not what it was. And when I joined the Royal Marines, they was disciplined, but I found it easy because my mum had given me as good as they could.
Before I left school, my father bought a house in a different area, and we moved. Where did we move to? We moved to Mill Hill, which was northwest London, and Tottenham was north 17, I think. That was North London. And we moved to Mill Hill because someone in his office was selling their house and he thought it would be a better buy. So we moved to Mill Hill, which was northwest London. I was a teenager. I can remember standing in my sister's bedroom looking out the window thinking, I don't want to live here, you know. And it was a far better house than we'd had.
I remember my grandparents on my father's side. Because I had other brothers and sisters, I can't remember how many, but I used to, whenever on a Saturday, I used to go down to my grandmothers and grandfathers in Kettleston Road, Hall Green, because Grandma always did a nice meal, and I loved that. I can remember that. And my grandfather he worked in the jewellery quarter, so I used to always look after the things that he used to do at home, like polishing rings. I haven't got any on my fingers now, but I've got some at home. And used to polish the gold rings because they were shaped, and used to have to polish them so they stayed polished inside, and you had to put it in some acid to make it lock the extent of the polish that was in the ring, you know. That's all I can remember on that, though. I went to Hall Green Infant School down the Stratford Road. Opposite, there was a room, there was this place on the corner of the road, and this great big tall building. I can't even think what it was now. Huge building it was. My memory's going. I remember coming down the stairs, and always on the wall was a picture. Oh, I can't even remember what they are now. There were pictures of, no, you see, I can't even remember them now. Things that I used to see as I came down the stairs, turned right along the hall into the kitchen. This is the house where I was born, and always was this picture that stuck in your mind, and that was it, you knew. Home. But I just can't remember the detail that was.
Sheila Mary, her name. Well, we were fairly close at that time, but we're not at all close now. You know, she lives, I'm not sure, can't remember where she lives, but she lives a long way away from me now. And I speak to her on the phone about once a year. Sometimes twice a year, you know. But I think we were very close at one time, but we've drifted since we got married, I think.
Yes. Oh God. I've got a sister, Sheila. I can't remember whether I've got a brother. can't honestly remember. I've definitely got a sister. She lives in Redditch. Must have a brother though. Not necessarily though, I suppose. Michael.
Michael.
That sounds right. That's all I can remember now.
Okay.
Yes, I've got a sister, but the brothers are much older, or younger. But my sister Brenda, we grew up together sort of thing. And she's not alive now. Some the time goes quickly, some it goes, you never know when it's going to happen. I left school and went to work on the railway, shovelling coal. It was steam then, and toting sidings, a big depot of freight trains. By that freight train, I kept my health because I was lifting shovels of coal and banging it into the firebox of the engine. And it was toting sidings was the depot of the trains, and we had to clean them as well. And we had to go in a drop pit for this and go underneath the train. But it kept me fit. Then I went to the recruiting office in Derby and wanted to join the Air Force. And they told me I would have liked to go in the Marines. I thought, blimey, yes. I was on the Ark Royal, and that was all around the Mediterranean. And I was on the Loch Alvey, the Persian Gulf, and all around there. And you meet some good friends in the services. People who would die for you, and vice versa. When I left the Marines, I wanted to go back, but I was married. And life, when you look back, it was good. Even though I hated the RSM at that time, and I was going to shoot him when I got out. But, you know, you make good friends, and I'd like to see it come back again. Call-ups with the children when they're 18. Yes, national service. And you hate the non-commissioned officers. Like I say, we was going to kill him when we got out. But it's his strict ways, I suppose, they saved our lives. I liked my time in the services. I've not known anybody who regrets it. They make good friends, not just people who were with them. They're friends, people which would die for you.
I did go into the forces. I went into the RAF. I joined the ATC to make sure that I went into the RAF, and when I got called up, I went into the RAF. I had to report to Cranwell, and I went on a course for radio direction finding. It was called then, radar it's called now. It was RDF, radio direction finding, when I first joined the Air Force. And then after a while we were compulsorily remustered to radio telephony operators, which was entirely different really, but I didn't need any technical expertise to do the job. So we, about 120 of us, I think, were transferred to Cranwell from our RDF stations, and none of us wanted to go, but we had no choice. You know, once you're in the forces, you go. And I remember we were very bolshy, and the first night we were there, we didn't arrive till the evening, and we had to pick up our bedding, it was pouring with rain, and we got this bedding in the pouring rain, and we were marched to this hut, and the corporal that marched us to the hut never had the key, so we couldn't get in the bloody hut, could we? So we were standing there in the pouring rain with all our bedding, and of course our kit bags, because we had all our kit with us. And he said, "I'll go and get the key," and he disappeared and we never saw him again. So in the end we kicked the door in of this hut and we got in there and someone lit the fire, and we woke up in the morning and we were pulled out on parade and we were marched round to the radio centre, where we were addressed by a squadron leader who said, "I know you don't want to come here, but you're all going to pass." And they did their damnedest to make sure we passed. But anyway, that's by the by. After I'd been on the course 10 days, I felt I was ill, and I went to the sick bay. I went sick, and they decided I had rheumatic fever. So they transferred me, well, they put me into a bed in Cramwell, and then they said they were going to transfer me to an RAF hospital. But they filled the wrong form in, didn't they? So instead of transferring me to an RAF hospital, I was sent to a military first aid centre. And when I got there, the matron said, "I don't know why they've sent you here." Well, they sent me there because they filled the wrong form in. And I was stuck in this place then. There were no other RAF, well, there was one, I think there was one RAF bloke there, the others were all army chaps. And I know the matron didn't quite know what to do with me because I needed treatment, not just bed. And eventually they said they were going to transfer me to an RAF hospital. Oh no, I'm jumping the gun. There's a bit more in between somewhere. Sent me to an RAF hospital. And the orderly came along and he said, "I'm sorry, they filled the wrong form in again." And they sent me to this army convalescent depot, where the matron said, "I don't know why they've sent you here." And I was a bed case. I had to lie flat on my back all the time because I had a bad heart at the time. And there was a chap down the end, in the ward down the end. He had rheumatic fever and he kept having heart attacks. And it was awful, you know, because I thought, well, I'm going to get a heart attack. I never did have a heart attack, unfortunately.
Oh, I went into the army, yes. I worked, you know, privately at a job before I was called up. But I was called up into the army, and finally went abroad to, oh gosh, I can't remember. Oh, it's terrible having a memory that doesn't work, isn't it?